Is fast food actually that fast? Well, today we're putting Popeye's spicy chicken tenders to the test. I've already clicked order on them and it says they're gonna be delivered in about 25-30 minutes. So we've gotta try to make our own homemade version before it gets back, and then we'll do a taste test at the end. As always, we're gonna do this live with no cuts, and I'm also gonna do a Q&A while we're doing this from questions that people sent in on Instagram. So let's get started. However, before the questions from you guys, I have 3 questions for you. The first is, what was your favorite video that I did in 2022? Because you kind of forget, like if you look back through the backlog, I kind of did a lot, you know, kind of started out the beginning of the year with healthy meals, did a little backlog of healthy meals, a couple deep dives, and then I went to France for about 3 months. Then I came back to the States. And then we really started going into deep dives on ingredients and also food science. And that brings me to my second question. What deep dives or like ingredients do you want to see me do in 2023? And then the third question is, what cuisine do you want to learn more about, or potentially where would you want to see me travel to and make some videos about foods from different countries? But anyway, I'm gonna get this started, getting the oil. So think about those, drop it in the comments below on your answers to those, and then we'll start going through the questions that you guys sent in. So I'm just grabbing out all my ingredients quickly here. Okay, so let me grab this first question while I start the breading. This is a good one to start off with. We'll go, do you have any projects or goals for this year? Yeah, so obviously on YouTube, you know, I wanna kind of focus more on quality over quantity this year, which is something I kind of learned in the back half of 2022. So I wanna take that into 2023. And then outside of YouTube, we do have some other projects we're working on. So one is the newsletter, which we started about 2.5 months ago. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's been out every week on Sunday. And the whole goal with that thing is to just give you guys some inspiration for home cooking and new recipes, or just showcase some interesting topics or articles or stuff like that. And we just want to make it, frankly, as valuable as possible to all of you. So if you have feedback, if you have signed up, let us know. You can sign up, and I do have help. Someone's helping me write it, and then I kind of review it, and then we're sending it out. So it's been pretty fun, and it's been growing. So that is one thing that we want to continue to grow for 2023. And then additionally, kind of some other things off of YouTube, taking the website a little bit more seriously, hopefully making it a little bit better. So that's one project we're kind of starting to work on. And then, yeah, just outside of that, I do want to do 2 to 3 travel trips to countries outside of the US and do some new cuisines. So that's another thing. But other than that, really just trying to work on the systems we have in place to make everything sustainable is really the big goal for 2023. And yeah, just have fun, you know, making content that is valuable for all of you, but also, you know, fun to make as well, which is, you know, the most rewarding part of, you know, what I get to do. It's because of all you guys. So make it a simple dredge with flour, cornstarch, smoked paprika, cayenne, and I'm gonna toss a little bit of MSG in here too. And then we're gonna do kind of a pseudo buttermilk. I never actually have buttermilk. I don't know if anyone typically has buttermilk on them, but I'm gonna do a mixture with milk and sour cream, which will kind of get us loosely, you know, similar idea behind buttermilk, a little bit more acidic, a little sour, and also kind of thicker. And then let me get the next question here. Do you agree that Central Market is the best grocery store in the world? Because it is. I will say I'm a huge Central Market fan. For those who don't know, it's a chain only, I think it's only in Texas as far as I'm aware. It's owned by H-E-B, but it's kind of like Whole Foods. I think it's better than Whole Foods personally, but it's kind of like that upper level grocery store. They have got like everything, full butcher, full cheese shop, full like just every like so many different products. So it's like my favorite place to shop. It's not as close, but I will go out of my way just to shop at Central Market. All right, and then these are chicken tenders. They are salted already just because this is something I typically do. Like I bought these the other day and then just threw salt on them. This is something I do. I think I've mentioned this in the meal prep video, that just like salting a protein after you buy it kind of like forces you to use it and then like puts you in action. So technically I guess I salted this ahead of time, but you know, it's not really doing much. So I'll just put all of them in here, I guess. Spilled a little bit over there. Take this away. Oh yeah, forgot. I squirt a little hot sauce into this mixture as well, without getting my chicken hand on it. All right, whatever, whole cap's coming off. And then I just realized I can't really grab my phone. But I think, what was one question in there? Oh, some question, I think a couple people asked about Paris and kind of why I moved back. And initially, I was only ever going to be in Paris for about 3-ish months, just because like that's the max I can stay without, you know, applying for a visa or whatever. But the initial plan was to continue off and go to a different country and kind of do that. And basically, what ended up happening was I wasn't able to, being in a new country and traveling and just going to a new place every like 3 months is adds a lot of, I guess, friction to like the variables of how I produce content. And basically I just wasn't able to produce the videos I wanted to produce in the time that I had. And it was just really hard to do that. So what I want to do for this year is kind of take what I learned from being over there and figure out how to make the types of videos, but do a lot of pre-planning here at, you know, a home base that I have set up, so I can still be making videos in the meantime, and then pre-planning those travel trips. So basically then I can go for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, film like 3 or 4 videos all at once, and then come back and produce them and make them like much higher quality. That's what my goal was. Like I could have stayed in France and traveled around and made content for like the sake of making content, but I really want to, again, focus more on quality and really put out videos that I'm proud of and that have more research into them. So that was kind of why I decided to come back instead of traveling around right away. And then you'll see me, I'm just drizzling a little bit over the chicken tenders. It just gives it some interesting structures and like craggles in there. I don't know if you can see this. But yeah, by doing that, like drizzle, it just gives it some like interesting craggles. And then I think we're only, I don't know, like 10 minutes in here. So we're moving. Okay. And then also, I was just really in the mood for chicken thighs. Also, if you're wondering where my, normally Gabe is here doing these videos with me. He is out traveling around Europe, having a good time. And I don't know, I was kind of in the mood for chicken tenders, but I didn't know if I wanted to do like a full-blown chicken tender science video. And I was like, we haven't done a Q&A in a while, so I was like, you know what? I'll order Popeye, see if I can beat the delivery, and we'll see. I feel like we're on a good start. because chicken tenders also take less time to actually fry as well. I'm gonna bump that up a little bit. But yeah, also, so yeah, I do want to know what kind of ingredients and deep dives you want me to do for 2023, because I really have been having so much fun making these types of videos. And I feel like as most stuff is kind of moving towards short form, for me it's really fun to make longer form content that like we can do deep dives and we can kind of nerd out on things. And another thing that I want to do too is potentially start a podcast where I can actually discuss a little bit more about the stuff that is going on in these videos, because even though I made like a 30-ish minute on vanilla or a 30-minute video on Parmesan cheese or whatever, there's still a lot of stuff that like I feel like could be included, but it's not like super important stuff, but it's still very interesting stuff that would be fun to talk about. So that's kind of something we've been throwing around, and maybe making that as like part of a paid community where you pay some small amount per month, and then we'll release like a podcast episode, potentially like an extra newsletter, and just some additional content, maybe a live stream every once in a month. And actually we have put together a questionnaire for that kind of what does an Ethan Chlebowski paid community look like. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, we will link that below, kind of a questionnaire, just help guide us to what would be most valuable to you. That's always kind of what I'm thinking, even from videos, is like, how does this video or how does what we are making provide value, to you as like a home cook or things of that nature. So if you have any interest in kind of a paid community with like chats and, just maybe behind the scenes stuff of like how videos are being developed, or maybe influencing types of videos that we do, yeah, let me know down below, and yeah, we'll keep that going. That's another thing that hopefully we can get started this year pretty quickly. And then just like that, we're ready to go. So a little overexposed up there, but you get the gist of it. So I'm gonna carefully slide this over. So this is actually at 300. I'm gonna bump that up to 350. I'm gonna toss all this stuff in the dishwasher really quickly. All right, we're at 350 on the pan. Let me just double check that the oil temp is that high too. Then we'll dump these in here. Oh no, 11 minutes. All right, we got 11 minutes on that. So we gotta drop these in. We gotta burn and turn, baby. So I'm probably gonna do 3 at a time just because I don't want to too overcrowd this. And then also getting ready my little platter. I feel like the greatest thing about chicken tenders is if you can make some, nice little, we'll do some pickled onions, a little bit of like, maybe I'll do a spicy ranch. I think I have some ranch dressing there. So I'll probably just mix that with something. So we'll do some pickled onions, and then I've got just a jar of pickles too. Actually, one of my favorite things about barbecue in Texas is that they'll generally give you some kind of like pickle or something to go with it. Just makes it so nice to have. A little bit of acidity, a little bit of crunch. And then we'll do a little ranch as well. I'm gonna pop away some of this stuff too. Yeah, you can see like nice and craggly. Once these brown up, we'll be looking good. All right, next question. How to put the right amount of salt. I've always struggled with that. Learning how to put like the right amount of salt is something that like really needs to be learned through personal experience. Now, there are certain things like knowing how to put certain amounts in like a dough or like sausage, generally use 1.5% by weight. But one of the best things I think you can do is, in order to figure out the right amount of salt, is you need to over salt things and add too much salt, and then you'll be like, this was too salty, and then kind of dial back from there. I think most home cooks, you know, generally make the problem of not, you know, using way too little and then never really going beyond that, and they're kind of afraid to use too much. It is like hard to make something completely like unpalatably salty. So that would be one of my tips, is actually over salt it and then kind of dial back from there. And then like intuitively you will learn over time. And then obviously there are some tips that you can use, like, you know, 1% for the weight of the meat or 1.5% of the weight of the meat. Same with like pasta water. There's a couple different rules out there, but really I think just learning how to use it and like learning what your pinch size is, because everyone uses different sizes. And I very rarely actually weigh out the amount of salt. I'm just grabbing and going. All right, these are almost done. And actually, I think this might have arrived. Dude, it arrived. That was lightning fast. Yeah, that was really fast, because we're at 23 minutes on this recording, so about 22. So it's pretty impressive. These probably still have another like 2 minutes before they're done. And actually what is kind of nice, what's one thing you can do is, I'm gonna actually double fry these since I kind of lost anyway. But you can see these are looking really nice. So I'm gonna put them back here, let them drain for a second, and then once I fry these, I'm going to fry the other ones again, just for like another 30 seconds. And then pop them up here. And we'll continue the Q&A. And I can get my final tray ready. Where are my paper towels? Oh wow, they're over here. That's weird. Okay. So paper towels will be ready to go for the final. Man, these look so good though. Okay, next question. Why don't you use an air fryer? So I've gotten that question a couple times. I have nothing against air fryers, like at all. Mainly the only reason I don't have one is because I just don't like having extra appliances that I feel like I don't really need. That's pretty much it. Like I don't have a KitchenAid. I think someone may have asked about that too. Like I don't use a KitchenAid and I make doughs fairly often. And it would be helpful, but I tend to I don't mind doing stuff by hand. And then for an air fryer, like I do have the oven and it has the convection setting. So from a performance perspective, you're gonna get something pretty similar. Though there are some benefits to using an air fryer, like it heats up faster, probably uses less electricity and things of that nature. But for me, I don't like having more appliances unless I feel like I really, really do need them. Like I don't have a rice cooker. Yeah, there's a lot of appliances that I probably don't have that someone who cooks as much as I do, you would maybe think that I do. All right, next question. Any ideas on how to use better than bouillon other than in stock? Yeah, I've been actually thinking about doing a video about like kind of better than bouillon or like bouillon cubes or like bouillon powder, because actually in some like Asian cuisines, like certain Chinese stir fries may use like a sprinkle of chicken bouillon, or I was reading, it was some stir fry from, I don't think it was Thai, it might have been Thailand, I forget, but they use better than bouillon, like the chicken and the beef one in a stir fry, and it's amazing to use for stir fries. Because basically any instance where you need like something salty is something you can use that, and it does have the concentrated flavor of chicken or beef, or I think there's a mushroom one, there's vegetables, so I think I really should do a better than bouillon video, because there are a lot of uses for it outside of just, you know, your typical stock. I'm gonna let that go for like another minute, then I'm gonna add these ones back in, and then we'll finish this up and do the taste test. Do you plan on doing shorter recipe videos like I did in the past, or sticking with the longer food science videos? I'll be honest, I don't really see myself going back to kind of shorter recipe videos in the way that I used to do them, at least. I just have way more fun doing the deep dives, but I will still be doing like recipe content. You know, if you guys have seen, I've done some like healthy lunches or maybe weeknight meals or like how to stir fry, but it's generally like there needs to be a theme, and there needs to be like a couple recipes in one, rather than just seeing like a singular recipe. The one caveat to that is with travel content, like the doner or the doner kebab video I did back in the summer with Andong. I went to Germany, we tried a couple of different places, and then I showed how to, you know, recreate a version at home. That is an example of a singular recipe that I would do, but again, it's much more in depth than, you know, like a 6 to 8 minute recipe video. The newsletter is gonna be a space for that type of, like there is gonna be some more pure recipes on there, like new recipes, stuff I'm eating, healthy recipes, and just some inspiration around there. But yeah, we're gonna go fry number 2 for these. So no, I don't see myself kind of going back to that style of video. Any advice for someone wanting to start their own food YouTube channel? Yeah, so really the main advice that I would give anyone is always be thinking about like what is this video providing? You know, am I going for something that's entertaining? Are you gonna learn something? Are you gonna inspire something? And really thinking about like the viewer, I think is kind of what at least my advice would be, is like, you know, everyone can't be like a maximum view, you know, like getting millions and hundreds of thousands, like a Mr. Beast type of person. But especially with food, like you can definitely have an impact, you know, even if you're getting maybe a couple of views, couple hundred views on people in their day-to-day, you know, showing how to make something faster, showing how to make something healthier, or just showing how you incorporate certain foods into your life. That's really all I try to do with mine, is like make it very home cooking focused and hopefully provide value to all of you. So that's really the number one advice that I would give to someone who's starting a channel as well, in any genre, honestly. All right, these are looking beautiful. And then we'll have to do the comparison between oh, you know what? Maybe I'll keep one of these plain and do a crunch test. All right, one more question to round out. Is there anything you miss from your old life in like consulting slash, you know, that form of life? Yeah, so it's been a long time, and like this is the dream job for me. I guess the only thing that like I kind of miss is like now that, you know, I'm kind of working for myself and in charge of videos and everything, it's really hard. I find it for myself, and probably other creators can relate. I find it really hard to turn off and kind of like forget about it. Like even on weekends, you know, I try not to work like too many hours. Like I try to limit it when I can, but yeah, like, you know, I'm always thinking about it and it's hard to like turn off. But back when I was in consulting, like if I got home, you know, at the end of the day or on like Friday, like I literally did not think about work stuff and just thought about other stuff and was like very present. And like that's sometimes now where I realize like I'm constantly thinking about it and it's hard to shut off, which is why I've, you know, need to find hobbies that like allow me to do that. So like golf is one, weightlifting is one. I've got an ultimate frisbee league starting up here in a couple weeks that I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, just kind of finding a better balance, because even though this job is super fun, sometimes I realize that I get a little bit too deep in the weeds and I'm constantly thinking about it. But that's really the only thing. I mean, truly this is a dream job for me. And like, again, all possible through you guys watching, enjoying the content. So, I mean, other than that, like, and that's not even really a complaint. That's just a me thing that I need to work on. Okay, so I'm gonna plate this up. We're gonna do I'll do a thumbnail and then I'll also show you guys what they look like compared to Popeyes. But I mean, hopefully that's in focus, but these things are gorgeous. Okay, so here we have Popeyes. They're definitely way smaller, is one thing. But I mean, yeah, like I think Popeyes probably makes like one of the better fried chickens from a fast food standpoint. But obviously, yeah, these are like pretty small, and you can tell that they're a little bit overcooked. They're pretty dry. And then obviously we have these bad boys. You can see there's a ton more spices and stuff in them. The darkened bits are like cayenne and whatnot. And then I did add some little pepper. And then of course we got pickled onions, little spicy habanero ranch. So let's give these things a taste test. Okay, let's grab a Popeyes first. No sauce. Not as good as I remembered. I mean, definitely were not probably fried fresh. Like, given how fast they took to get here, it was probably a batch that had been sitting out for a bit. So, no real crunch. And then, yeah, way drier than I assume these are gonna be, especially because these were sitting, you know, they had been brined overnight. So, no sauce first. Nice spice on these, though. With the sauce. Wow. I mean, fried fresh, I mean, no comparison. Like these things, these are dry, man. Like there is no juice in these babies. Like these were definitely like sitting for a while, if I had to guess. But these babies, I mean, obviously we just fried them. Like, so freaking good. Oh my gosh. So we didn't beat Popeyes on time, but surely beat them on taste, texture. I mean, man, if you've not had chicken tenders in a while, well worth it to make it at home. Anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Thank you for everything in 2022. Looking forward to a big 2023. A recipe for this will be up on my website if you guys want to follow and try to, you know, make this yourself. Maybe go up against Popeyes. Do this taste for yourself. It's really interesting to actually compare and contrast things like this. But anyway, that will wrap it up for me. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace, y'all.